Welcome to WikiAfrica Hour, a monthly live broadcast airing the fresh perspectives of Africa's Wikimedians. It's a space where they share their work and knowledge and digest, through African realities, the global Wikimedia movement. WikiAfrica Hour, the voice of African Wikimedians.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another roundup of what's happening across the Wikimedia movement. As always, we're bringing you the most exciting updates, important announcements, and opportunities you don't want to miss. Let's dive in.
We start with a major global campaign announcement. Wiki Loves Ramadan is officially returning in 2026, and this year, the campaign is expanding its reach, stories, and community participation across Wikimedia projects. Wiki Loves Ramadan is an annual global initiative focused on documenting Ramadan traditions, cultural practices, places of worship, and Islamic heritage through articles, images, and multilingual contributions. The 2026 edition aims to generate over 10,000 new articles and media files while engaging contributors from more than 30 countries and 26 language communities. Early community registration is now open, and organizers are inviting Wikimedia groups and individuals to sign up. You can explore the meta page and prepare for the contest launching on February 16, 2026, with submissions closing on March 28. Visit the links on screen to learn more, register your community, and get involved in this global cultural documentation effort.
From global campaigns, we now move to Francophone Wikimedia communities. The International Month of Francophone Contribution is back for 2026 and will run from March 1st to the 31st. Coordinated this year by the Wikimedia Haiti user group with support from WikiAfrica. This annual initiative brings together Francophone Wikimedians across countries to organize workshops, editathons, and training sessions aimed at improving French language Wikimedia projects. The theme for 2026 is Violence, Resistance, and Struggles, focusing on documenting colonial histories, political repression, gender-based violence, social justice movements, and broader struggles for free knowledge across the Francophone world. Communities are invited to register events on Meta, organize local workshops, and apply for microgrants to support their activities. If you're part of a Francophone Wikimedia community or interested in contributing in French, this is a powerful opportunity to collaborate, document underrepresented histories, and strengthen Francophone content across Wikimedia platforms. Links to event registration and microfinancing applications are now available on screen.
Next up, a major announcement for the Wikimedia technical community. General registration is now officially open for the Wikimedia Hackathon 2026, taking place in Milan, Italy from May 1st to 3rd. Organized by the Wikimedia Foundation in collaboration with Wikimedia Italia. The Wikimedia Hackathon brings together developers, designers, technical contributors, and product thinkers from across the movement to collaborate on tools, infrastructure, and software that power Wikimedia projects. Registration is open until March 30th or until capacity is reached. So, if you are interested in hacking, building, and collaborating with the Wikimedia tech community, be sure to secure your spot early.
From tech to mentorship and knowledge equity, applications are now open for the WikiAfrodemics Mentorship Program 2026, a 5-month initiative from February to June, designed to support African contributors in improving content about African academics and scientists on Wikipedia and Wikidata. This program focuses on addressing content gaps and gender disparities in knowledge representation, particularly in countries that remain significantly underrepresented. Selected participants will receive structured mentorship from experienced Wikimedians, hands-on training, monthly data stipends, and guided support in content creation, community engagement, and resource mobilization. Application close on February 20th, 2026, and links to apply are available on screen.
Next, a reminder for those working at the intersection of digital rights, inclusion, policy, and technology. The deadline to submit session proposals for the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum Conference 2026 is January 30th. If you're working on issues related to digital equity, governance, online rights, or technology policy, this is an excellent opportunity to propose a session, panel, workshop, or presentation. Support resources, templates, and submission links are available, and organizers are offering feedback on proposals if shared in advance. Visit the links on screen for full submission details.
And finally, a community storytelling update from Zambia. Season 2 of the ZWiki podcast has officially launched, with its opening episode celebrating 25 years of Wikipedia and reflecting on how free knowledge has shaped communities, culture, and documentation efforts globally and locally. The first episode explores Wikipedia's journey over the past 25 years, the role of recorded knowledge in shaping history, and how Zambian communities continue to engage with and benefit from Wikimedia platforms. This podcast is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and listeners are encouraged to tune in, share, and celebrate this milestone with the Zambian Wikimedia community. And that brings us to the end of this WikiAfrica Hour news update. Thank you for tuning in and staying connected. We'll be back next month with more exciting developments, project updates, and community stories. Catch all of the updates, links, and featured items on the WikiAfrica Hour news page on Meta Wiki.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 54th episode of WikiAfrica Hour and the first one in 2026. Speaking to you, ElDomiaty from Egypt, WikiAfrica Hour program manager. Thank you for all the community who helped us to reach the 54 episode till now. Today, we're going to talk about mapping Africa, visualizing knowledge and communities. As usual, WikiAfrica Hour is a voice of African Wikimedians and Wikimedians all over the world, not just in Africa. Today, we have a special guest host. We have Erina Mukuta. Erina is a GIS specialist and open knowledge advocate from Uganda, with over 8 years of experience in geospatial analysis, mapping, and community development. She also has extensive experience in training, mentorship, community management, and working with volunteers. Erina also is a member in Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda and actively contributes to open knowledge initiatives, including OpenStreetMap, which we will discuss about it more today. Erina also actively contribute to wider Wikimedia movement. Thank you so much, Erina, for accepting the invitation to moderate the session for today. And by the way, it's not your first time. I may need to remind audiences that you already hosted a previous episode of WikiAfrica Hour, which returned me back for 2 years because it's around 2 years ago. So thank you for accepting the invitation to be to lead and moderate the session for today's as well. Thank you so much. Erina, mic is yours now. I'll be backstage.
Okay. Thank you, Donia, for such a lovely introduction. We have an exciting show planned for today. In today's episode, we're going to look at what's the connection of maps and Wikimedia. Where do they intersect? And maps and open knowledge, how does that conversation pan out? How is it relevant to you? But also AI is here and it's not leaving. So what does that mean for the future of open mapping? So we'll be discussing some of those topics and digging into them. I see all you lovely people are out there. Tell us in the chat, contribute, ask questions, and comment, leave comments for our guests, and you're all welcome. Yeah. So today we have 3 guests. That's Geoffrey Kateregga from Uganda. We have Romeo from Sudan, and Michael Kaluba from Uganda. Geoffrey Kateregga is my person. Yeah, he's a Ugandan, and we do work together in the Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda. And yeah, he has another life that doesn't include me, that is with the OSM community and the mapping community, and he's going to bring that resourcefulness into this conversation. We also have Romeo, our voice of Wiki. Yeah, so Romeo is from Sudan, and welcome. I know you have also delved in both communities, both the Wiki community and the mapping community. And yeah, I'll be quite glad to hear what's happening in Sudan. And finally, we have Carl, who is also from Uganda. He's also my person. We do work together. We serve on a board together. And yeah, it's great to have all you guys here. I'll have the guests introduce themselves, say a word or two. Romeo, would you like to start first?
Thank you so much, Erina. I'm very excited here. And I think overly excited the fact that we are actually having way more experts in this conversation with us today. So I'm very excited. My name is Romeo, of course, as introduced, from South Sudan. Sudan is a whole different conversation. Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Romeo. Let's hear from Michael.
All right. Am I audible?
Yes, please, Michael. We hear you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. My name is Michael Kaluba, and I'm glad to join the conversation. I'm from Uganda. Been a volunteer with the OpenStreetMap for almost 10 years, and also part of the Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda, and really glad to be here for this conversation. Thank you, Erina.
Thank you, Carl. Geoffrey, finally, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Erina, and really happy to be here. Happy 25th birthday of Wikipedia to everyone who is joining us today. So my name is Geoffrey Kateregga, and yeah, I am also part of the Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda, but also very passionate about everything Geospatial. So everything to do with maps and location-based information. So yeah, I'm part of the OpenStreetMap community in Uganda as well. I also do work with a humanitarian mapping organization called the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team. So yeah, love everything, intersection of maps and data. So happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for those wonderful introductions. So let's dive in. Our first conversation is really going to be around how Wikimedia uses maps. Do we know that even Wikimedia uses maps? Some of us don't know. But yeah, let's ask some of our guests to enlighten us. Geoffrey, I would like to know, why is visual representation important for knowledge equity?
Yeah, why the maps matter? I think we live in a world which is multilingual. Basically, we speak different languages, and maps are one of ways that people who speak different languages communicate. Yeah, when different people who speak different languages look at a map, they can all understand what it communicates. So it's one of those tools that really help to remove barriers in terms of communicating different pieces of information. And I think that's why it matters a lot, because it helps improve like kind of equity in kind of the open knowledge space. I believe very much that if something is missing on a map, then it doesn't exist. So if someone wants to, to remove your existence, they basically draw a map and they don't add you to the map. So in the 21st century, we shouldn't have any place that is missing on a map. So if you have, for example, your community library where you go to read, that should be on a map. And actually, you should use that as evidence. If it doesn't exist on a map, it means you don't have any facility like a library in your area. And you can use that actually to advocate for resources, either from government, from any people that are supposed to bring such services. So I think maps for me, it's about saying that I exist. If I'm on a map, it means I live here and I exist, and you can't just, push me away. And if I have something that I don't have, that I shouldn't have, then I can use maps to advocate for those kinds of resources that I don't have.
Interesting. In the wiki world, where we want to represent our knowledge, have our knowledge documented, and somehow you're thinking, let me write it down in text. So it's interesting to see that even it existing on a map creates some sense of knowledge equity for people consuming it. Thank you, Geoffrey. So Michael, how are maps integrated across Wikimedia projects? I know you have participated in some projects that are using it in Wikimedia projects. Could you give us some enlightenment on that?
All right. Thank you so much, Erina. Personally, maps speak more than just the information that is on them, because just to bring it in this direction, that we, as the Wikimedia community, we are a diverse community where we have people who, some might be disabled, some might be just interested to have this information speak to them. So maps speak more than what they just represent, because these are the places located or being located on those maps, showing people's representation in the entire community, and also providing information to these people. So speaking about the integration of maps, one, I will speak from my own experience of the projects that I've been engaged with, where one of them is mapping of libraries in Uganda, both community and public libraries. So this information, because we had a lot of libraries with limited information, like most of them didn't have geospatial coordinates. So we were able to go to these places and then add those coordinates to each of these places we visited. So adding this information enriches not only Wikipedia or Wikimedia projects, but they help these people be known of where they are located and also tell their stories. Yeah, because now, like, if we add a geospatial location to a Wikidata item, that means the machines that use this information are able to learn more about these places. Because remember, when we are collecting this information, we are not just collecting geospatial coordinates. We are collecting stories of people, and also be able to visualize and tell their stories on maps. So it's an integration of information and then people's stories on maps, so that they are known. Because now we've had so many stories of people whose, like, for example, libraries, like, we were able to tell where gaps are within our country. We realized that there are more libraries in towns than in rural areas. Yeah, and some of these contexts, you may not be able to draw them just from the Wikidata items created about these places. Remember, these gaps are clear and evident if you have a map showing, for example, where these places are located. So to me, this integration is so key, because it helps us in so many ways, to those that are doing research, to the people who are connected to these places, and even to the consumers of this information. If a person maybe is looking for a specific place, they are able to easily find it because of this geospatial coordinates that a person was able to add. I personally love doing this, because even where I move, I at least find a place that is not on a map, and then I'm able to add it. And as we know, there is that integration of OpenStreetMap data and Wikimedia projects. Yes, thank you. Erina.
Oh, thank you, Carl, about telling us more about the libraries project, the mapping libraries across Uganda. I'm thinking that's across Uganda. That sounds interesting. Actually, I actually don't know what library is next to me. I need to check it out. I need to check it out and see what's the library that's closest to me. Yeah. So, Romeo, could you give us an example of how geospatial data improves the quality of articles or data sets within Wikidata? We have had Michael say, like, maybe machines can use it when it's within Wikidata. Other people can utilize it to find locations, to visualize a problem and make decisions. Could you give us an example, Romeo, of how this geospatial data improves the quality of an article or an item, a data item?
All right, thank you so much. Now, I want to just tell you this. When you come to where I come from in South Sudan, there's a place called Yei. Now, in Yei, we have a place called Small London. So it's London, like it's still there. Now, the thing with that is that we know that there's London, which is in the UK. Now, the fact that these places have same names, and imagine if you're writing a Wikidata item, you know, for London, London, but the London you're trying to mean actually is in Yei in South Sudan, not the other one. You'll oftentimes tend to confuse a reader if you don't include or integrate that with very, very relevant geospatial information or location or coordinates about that specific place. So meaning that actually the quality of articles, the quality of items on Wikidata, the quality of probably specific items that you want to talk about in the different Wikimedia projects that, let me say, are location based, if they do not really have geospatial information, oftentimes it doesn't match up to the quality to the person who is reading it. The person who is reading it wants to know specific locations, wants to know specific information. That alone improves the quality of that amazing article or that amazing data. Now, we have, I think we have seen, we have heard from all the previous people talking here about the fact that geospatial data just indicates existence, not only existence of people. That data there, it's locations, people, it is existence of items. It is so much that is engulfed in it. So if that is missing, I have a feeling that a specific article or a specific item is missing a huge part of itself. So the quality of those items or the quality of any other Wikimedia project greatly improves if actually geospatial data is added to it. So yes, that does a lot of amazing job to that. And that's how it tends to improve it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I get it, like it gives context to what is being written about. Someone has a point of reference. If they went on a map, they could easier understand this London in South Sudan and the London. But don't we have also a London in Uganda? I think we do. I forget what we call it.
Yes,
we had half London. There's a
half London.
must be near where Geoffrey stays, but we also have a London in in Uganda, so that's crazy. Yeah, interesting. That's quite interesting. So
yeah,
Geoffrey,
so maybe just
yes,
to add on before it comes in. So we have like very thematic topics. Let me say things like climate change. You know, when people are talking about floods and people are talking about other climate change related issues, actually most of that information becomes wholesome for any reader or someone who is even trying to reference to it when there is a specific location to it. When you're talking about floods and you talk about floods in this specific place, that amount of data of what happened before and what is now tends to even give people information of to what extent is that information. Is that floods or that climate change thing? And that kind of information, as Geoffrey has mentioned, you can use it to do sourcing out funds or looking for a solution for that specific place. So actually, geospatial data plays way more roles than probably I've mentioned right now. Thank you, Erina. Thank you.
Romeo, people are wondering, is the spelling of London and the London in South Sudan and the London in the UK, what's the difference? Is it the same spelling?
There's no difference. It's the same London. So when you call me and I say I'm in London.
Okay, yeah, and I see these days, like whether you're taking an image or a video, there's always geotags, you know. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Romeo. Geoffrey, as I ask you this because I know you have been in the leadership of OpenStreetMap, open mapping within Uganda and really Africa as a continent. You have spearled several communities and helped in their development. How do you see maps as a tool to make African knowledge more visible globally?
Yeah, I consider myself like an open mapping evangelist, because whenever I meet someone new, I always try to get them interested to start contribute to mapping. And the reason why I do this is because I believe, really, like I mentioned earlier, that if something doesn't exist on a map, then it doesn't exist, really. Information is powerful, and I think we are living in an age where maps are no longer paper-based. Maps are now digital. People move with them in their phones. If without maps, we wouldn't know that there's a place called London in South Sudan. So I think what that really means is that we need more information on the maps. Everyone should contribute to the maps. So if you have joined this session and you haven't contributed to maps, please do so now. Just go on OpenStreetMap, search if your health facility where you go for medication, if it's not on the map, then add it, because when you do, it's going to help someone out there who is looking for this very useful information. So we need to make African knowledge more visible, because machines are searching, very many people are searching for this information. And if they search and the map returns black information, people will think like these things don't exist. But we are so much rich in culture. It can be monuments, it can be natural features like rivers, forests, even for their protection, So if these things are not like documented, if they're missing on the maps, even people who want like make them disappear, we easily do so because they're not documented. So one way you can document what exists in your neighborhood to the rest of the world is through maps. So we need to make sure that search engines are finding things. So when someone searches for London, 20 places called London should be popping up, not just one that, that other people know. So I think that's what it means. Like we need our heritage to be documented. We need our history to be documented. But this is only going to be done through maps. There is a very nice tool that I like. It's called WikiShootMe. So when you go on WikiShootMe, it kind of combines Wikidata, Wikimedia Commons, and OpenStreetMap. So it will show you, for example, things that on Wikidata that don't have an image, but it's showing it to you on a map. So meaning that it's looking at where you are in your neighborhood, and it is basically asking you, please, this hospital that is very close to you doesn't have an image on Wikimedia Commons. And then that means you can use actually that tool to take a photo of this site and then add it. But by doing so, you're actually showing the rest of the world what we have in our neighborhood. And like I mentioned, if you don't have these kinds of things, it also means that people can use maps to advocate for facilities. But it can only be done if there is data in the first place. So if the map is not complete, then people will not know exactly what is missing. So the first thing is to make sure that we add georeferenced information on maps. So please try out that tool. It's called WikiShootMe. Find something that is missing on the map, add it. If it's already on the map but doesn't have an image, add it on Commons or add it on Wikidata, because all these projects actually link to each other. And the more we make this information complete, the more we document our knowledge and heritage as African, make it more visible globally.
Well, thank you, Geoffrey. I'm hearing a call to participation, a call to join the community and be one of those that's bridging this gap and increasing the documentation of African knowledge globally. Thank you so much for that. So for our next segment, we're going to talk about African mappers and local impact. Geoffrey, since you're the one who has been talking, I would like to ask you, how are African communities using maps to document local knowledge? If you have practical examples and experiences, that would be great.
Yeah, so I think, like I mentioned, like these, all the different projects that we do are kind of linked. So, and that's why I want to talk about OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap is always defined as the Wikipedia of maps. I think, Wikipedia is celebrating 25 years, but yeah, OpenStreetMap is a bit younger than that, but it was inspired by the Wikipedia project. And it's basically a map that everyone can edit. The same way that we can go and edit Wikipedia, OpenStreetMap is also something that you can add georeferenced information and add it to the map. But the interesting bit is that these two projects are linked. So you find if it is a hospital that is on OpenStreetMap, someone can add the Wikidata number and also the Wikipedia article for that hospital onto OpenStreetMap. That means that someone that is visiting OpenStreetMap can find extra information about this facility through OpenStreetMap. But it's the same thing with Wikipedia. On Wikidata, someone can add the link to OpenStreetMap, meaning that someone can go and read about this hospital. And if they want to know where it's located, they can also use that link to find the location of this information. So I think the process should be, map it, take a photo, add it to Wikidata, and then write the Wikipedia article so that all this information is kind of complete. And like I mentioned, it is kind of linked. So I think like that's, for me, the perfect way of documenting anything on Wikipedia, because it has a Wikipedia article, it has a photo, someone will see how it looks like, which is on Wikimedia Commons, and then it is having the link to OpenStreetMap, so someone can see the location. And then what Wikidata does is, because these are in different places, Wikidata links everything together. So, of course, we can map so many different things. It can be health facilities, it can be schools, it can be monuments. And by doing all of that, we're actually documenting local knowledge. One project that I can give as an example that we did with Romeo is Wikipedia for refugees. So Uganda hosts over 1.5 million refugees, and they live in different refugee settlements across the country. And before we did this project, you would find like someone visits Wikipedia and reads, there were just a few articles about where these refugee settlements are. And these are places that we're hosting over, hundreds of thousands of people. So to have this information and it is missing on Wikipedia and it's not well documented, that was not good. So what we did was to go and map actually the boundaries of all of these refugee settlements. They have like zones, and we had added all of them. And then we took photos of what happens, like the life in these places. And then people wrote Wikipedia articles. So we documented the whole kind of process, but we made sure that everything was also georeferenced and there is a map location to it.
Oh, thank you so much, Geoffrey. I do recall that project. And I actually didn't know that within the camps, there are whole administrative boundaries in there. And I guess that also speaks to maybe leadership structures within the camp too. Yeah, that must have been a very interesting project. Maybe people can check it out on Meta, where it was documented. Thank you so much, Geoffrey, for that. Romeo, could you give us an example, aside from maybe the refugee project? Are there any other mapping projects that have made a difference in South Sudan?
So South Sudan is a pretty young country. I mean, like now we don't really want to use that statement. So there's like a lot of mapping work that really needs to be done. Though a lot of it, I can say that most of the other projects that we technically try to really undertake faced a little bit of some challenges. But I can say that I think it was a project that was done actually in the leadership also together with HOT for Western Equatoria, was where the Western Equatorial area was actually mapped, and the building footprints, the hospitals, and all of that were actually put into place. But I can tell you that one of the beautiful projects that we actually ended up doing was again back in the camp, whereby we specifically mapped actually water points. So the thing is that there was a time where water was a very huge problem in the refugee camp, but there was this lack of broader picture of like, where are those specific water points that are really working, which ones are not working. So what we had to do with the community that we had in the refugee camp was to be able to go and collect all the single geo points of all the different water points and just collect basic data about them. When was it installed? Is it working? Is it not working? And then that kind of information was able to be represented in a map. And that gave a very good picture to the authorities who are concerned about the installation of water and those that really not supposed to be able to put, to give them an idea of, oh, okay, maybe this is exactly the problem. Because sometimes when someone tells you a challenge about something and you haven't visualized it, there's a way you either think the problem is small or the problem is bigger. But that was a very good tool that helped actually the other implementing partners to be able to look at the visualized information and say, okay, maybe this is how it is supposed to be. Now, sometimes the response that comes back to it is very dependent, of course, sometimes to funding and stuff, but that's already good knowledge. That's already open knowledge and good knowledge for them to be able to decide. And I think that has been one of the biggest impact, even in South Sudan, as far as mapping is concerned, is to see that we get data and just present to authorities that I think would love to use that data to make decisions that can be able to impact communities. So sometimes the decision will come straight, sometimes it won't, but the good thing is that the information is right there. So on the basis of impact is that, have we provided information? Yes, we are. And we are wishing to still provide more information to see that people can have access to just make good quality decisions on how to help people. Yes, thank you. And actually, I think we have done a lot of like mapping projects for floods in the South Sudan has been very greatly affected by floods, like the half part of the northern part of South Sudan. So like in the Liel area, the Upper Nile area, Jonglei states, we have done a complete mapping of all of that, as well with also the help of HOT team, together with also other communities across Africa that came in to join to be able to map that. And to see that that information is also made available to humanitarian agencies and those who would wish to support communities in that way. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Romeo. In regards to mapping water points, I resonate because I once did mapping water points, but this time in national parks, when there was the oil project, just to see the impact of what's going to have on the wildlife, So we did some documentation of water parks so that we would know where the pipeline will be best suited to pass. That's a whole other story. But yeah, it comes to me because, once someone asked me, okay, so you mapped it, so what? So what, like, okay, so you mapped it, it's not changing my life. It's not shortening the distance to the borehole. When you're talking to an everyday person, they're like, what does it do for me every day? And it's stories like yours that show the so what. So I've documented it. Authorities are using it to make decisions where to place water points where there is no coverage, and it's then impacting a local community that doesn't even know that there are people out there mapping water points and, trying to get services to you closer. So I like how that comes full circle back to the everyday person and supporting their everyday life. Thank you so much for that work, Romeo. And you already hinted on challenges. You already said that we do face some challenges as we do our work. Tell us some of these challenges that local mappers face while contributing to these open projects, the Wikimedia projects or OSM. What do your local mappers and contributors face? What are those challenges they face?
Yeah, so I think there are challenges that are very broad, that are very Africa-wise. I mean, you to be able to gather a community that should be able to do some mapping, you need some little money because you have to get them together. You have sometimes in trainings, you have to feed them, you have to give them equipment. So funding is also a huge source to be able to sustain those communities. But I guess apart from that, for specific communities, like I can say in South Sudan, we live in either in a very post-conflict area. So if you're going to go with your tools and you want to start doing mapping, even though as basic as a phone, sometimes you get questions. So we end up relying a lot in mapping online. So like you can sit on your computer and just identify specific spots that you're going to map in. But you know that sometimes you really want to collect all that information like physically down on ground. You may end up facing a lot of challenges because there's questions like, why are you doing this? And sometimes even you involve the authorities, but you find someone just coming from nowhere to question you. It's like, what is your intention? Why are you gathering this information? Like, for instance, there's like, maybe you want to improve the imagery of what you want to map, and for some reason something crosses your head. You're like, I want to use a drone. you, you want to use a drone.
Clearance.
What do you want? Who do you want to target? So there are those, you get to have issues with authority. But I mean, one other thing also that I've come to realize with mapping, which is I think a big issue also within the open communities, even as well as Wikimedia, is the issue of retention. So, you're not going to directly get money right now when you map a place, and we work with young people. And sometimes you sell them the idea, yes, you're mapping this because it is going to be beneficial. You want to put your place into mapping. You want to map a specific, map your home, start with your village and all of that. But then the question they're going to ask you is like, what is in there for me? Like right now, I want to know the benefit now. I want to get money now. So if you don't, and sometimes you find you get people who really seem to be interested in this on paper, but when they get down and know they have to sit and do all the work, they can't keep there for long. So retention is sometimes not an easy stuff to be able to get it. But I guess in this evolving world, we're going to expect that when we're working with young people. But this is why we have chosen to work with sometimes schools, which is good. But I mean, they go for holidays. Sometimes you don't. But I guess the whole challenge comes down to it's a community, and you're going to face challenges with communities of people. Yeah, to pick up with them, to move up with them, to be able to do that. And internet. So sometimes, like internet in our country is very expensive, but sometimes you need money and support. So it's funding, it is infrastructure, it is authorities and government. Yeah, those are like some of the big challenges for us.
Yeah, I'm hearing funding, I'm hearing infrastructure, volunteer retention. I think many of us resonate with such challenges, especially when you work with communities and volunteers, It's a trick, but yeah, we keep moving. Michael, tell us what collaborations are in stock within the OSM or local mapping communities. What collaborations do you have currently or hope to have with other institutions?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. There are several partnerships and collaborations that are in stock. Those we've worked with previously and those we intend to work with in this time to come. So we've previously worked with OpenStreetMap Uganda as with media communities of Uganda. So this partnership has helped us bring together people who have the experience with working with maps. And personally, I was previously, I was part of OpenStreetMap before I joined Wikimedia. So the knowledge I got from the OpenStreetMap community helped me in putting together all that I needed for the mapping projects in the Wikimedia community. So yeah, last year we worked with the Uganda Community Libraries Association and the Uganda Community Museums Association of Uganda. And then this year we are intending to work with still UKOMA, that's Uganda Community Museums Association, so that we are looking forward to mapping galleries, because those two partnerships helped us map the libraries and museums. So this year we are looking at working more on documenting galleries, the archives, like the showrooms, all those that fall into the category of galleries and archives. Yeah, so this year we are looking into that partnership, but also with other than the Wikimedia side of the communities, the other side of OpenStreetMap, we were able to collaborate with UBOS, and then because as if you may take a look at the OpenStreetMap data of Uganda, you realize that we are one of the countries that is more detailed. Yeah, all that happened because of these partnerships. We were able to get village names, and we were able to add almost all the villages in Uganda. All that was because of partnerships. So we are intending to get more partnerships because of the different, each project might need really a different partnerships, because each project may come with different kind of expertise, may come with a different kind of source of data. So yeah, for this year we are looking at archives and galleries. Yes, so that's really the partnership we are focusing on for this year.
Michael, what's UBOS in full? Our viewers may not know that.
Sorry, that's the Uganda Bureau of Statistics.
Oh, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Someone in the chat is wondering, how do they proceed? And maybe they could correct me, but I'm thinking like, in how do they become part of this community? How do they start collaborating with you? Yeah. Or, just join this movement. Maybe Geoffrey could.
I missed that really.
Saying someone someone has a comment, and maybe Geoffrey could give us an answer. Someone wants to know, how do I proceed? So I'm listening to this, but where do I start? Yeah.
Okay.
Geoffrey.
Yeah, that's the question I love most to answer. Yeah. So yeah, how do you proceed? You are interested in adding things onto the map. I think one simple way, if you're already like a Wikimedian and you like taking photos with your phone and uploading to Wikimedia Commons, make sure that in your camera settings, you activate location data. Because when you take a photo and it has coordinates in it and you upload to Wikimedia Commons, actually Wikimedia Commons will pick up those coordinates as you upload that photo. So you may not know it, but you're already mapping. If you check like the photo, the WikiShootMe tool that was shared in the chat, you realize that it is putting photos on a map, and you can click on a photo and know where it was taken from. That's why that's because photos have coordinates in them. That is one simple way of mapping without creating any account. Now, if you want to get more involved, like I've said, join OpenStreetMap. The link is very easy. It was also shared in the chat. It is osm.org. Zoom into the place where you stay, okay? It will ask you to edit. It will ask you to create an account. Already there are learning resources from even clicking the edit button to give you simple instructions. This is how to edit and contribute to the map. That is the second way how you can get involved. Thirdly, join a community. Romeo is involved in OpenStreetMap Sudan. There is a mapping community in almost each and every country that you can join and get involved in that type of mapping. But what is most interesting is that even Wikimedia has a community of mappers. Actually, there is Wikimaps. People who contribute to Wikipedia and Wikimedia projects, but are involved in maps. You may believe it or not, but there is a lot of things that need maps on them on Wikimedia. And by creating maps, you're actually making knowledge more visible on Wikimedia projects. Yeah, so it may be, adding an info box on an article, and in the info box, you go there and actually add coordinates of the location of your university. Already you are improving knowledge through mapping. So those are just very quick, simple ways. I've given you one that doesn't need you to even create an account. Take a georeferenced photo. If you want to get more, involved in maps, create an account on OpenStreetMap. Like Romeo said, you can have like satellite imagery and you are tracing things that you see. It can be roads, it can be buildings to complete the base map. And now, if you are more interested, then you can now even create more localized information, like what's the name of the school, what's the name of the road, because these things, you can't easily see them from satellite image. You need to have like a local knowledge to add that kind of information. So yeah, there is lots of ways that you can participate in mapping. Yeah, it is kind of a very wide kind of, and very interesting, trust me. When you start mapping, you'll not stop. You'll just continue forever.
Thank you, Geoffrey, for that explanation. And I hope our viewer will be able to kick it off tonight. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're going to talk about the future of open mapping. And the person to answer this question is our leader, Geoffrey. Yeah. AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It has consumed our lives. It has consumed our lives. Everything we're asking AI these days. So AI and automation tools that affect mapping, are they there? What's happening in that space? But also, what risks and what opportunities is it presenting for open knowledge in the mapping space?
Yes, I think you're very right. AI is here, and I think the most interesting thing about AI is that it feeds on our data. It feeds a lot on Wikipedia. It feeds a lot on Wikidata to answer the questions, that people ask. And I think for me, that's one interesting bit, because for you to be able to appreciate the importance of mapping, you need to have spatial analysis skills. If you create a map from data, if you go to Wikidata and ask it, can you show me the location of all the museums in Uganda? And you see them pop up on a map. You'll be really excited. You'll know like the edits that I made to contribute to museums in Uganda is really making a difference. And I think some people don't have like geospatial analysis skills, but now the benefit of what is coming with AI is that you can go to an AI and ask it, can you create for me a map that shows the location of hospitals in Uganda? And AI will answer that question because it can query Wikidata and know where these are. So it's kind of bridging the gap for people who don't have like spatial analysis skills to be able to use AI to do the analysis, but using the data that they contributed. That's one thing. The other thing, there's some things that we're doing that would, at the organization I'm working with, the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap, we had the goal to map a home to 1 billion people, to make sure that people that stay, like 1 billion people on a map. This was a very, very huge task. But now with the AI coming and AI being able to be told, okay, this is how a building looks like, can you now detect that building and create, trace it? So instead of someone tracing that building manually, now the AI is helping us detect that building, and then we can add it to the map. But what is very crucial is that the human needs to verify. So AI is helping us to detect this information, but also want to retain the human element to make sure that the human can verify what the AI has predicted. And then also there are some things that AI is not going to predict. So AI may predict that this is a building, but it will not know whether that building, the name of that building, or the name of the road. So a human will have to add that specific information. So I think the point I'm trying to make is that AI is going to make mapping easier and also faster, because still a very big part of the world remains unmapped. And also, unfortunately, there's also still like a lot of bias even in AI. If the AI is trained using how buildings looks like in other London, and use the same AI to predict the building in the London in South Sudan, it will fail. So there's still like gaps even in AI predictions in terms of like identifying features from different parts of the world. So I think as humans, our work is to kind of train the AI to become better so that it can also help us to do our work faster. But most importantly, use it also to do the analysis and answer the questions that we would struggle to answer from data that we have.
Okay, so I'm hearing that let's work with the AI. Let's work with the AI to cut out what is unnecessary, but also the AI enables people who don't have certain skills to now generate things that they could not have generated before. Of course, as analysts are at a risk. Does it mean no jobs for us? But is the AI taking our jobs? But yeah, I hear you. I hear the opportunities that it brings, but I also hear that it doesn't replace the human element in some aspects. So volunteers still need to come on board and put this knowledge within. I guess the issue is there are paywalls to AI these days, and they're using open source knowledge, and then they're putting paywalls in regards to the products you can get out. So I guess maybe that's a conversation for another day, but it's something that came to my mind. But yeah, finally, Romeo, what's next in the geospatial knowledge within the open ecosystem? What should we expect? What's next in regards to AI or the future of mapping? What are you seeing happening there?
Yeah, that's a huge question for me, but I think I'll try to take on that. Now, the reality is that I think the technologies that are evolving, the entire mapping and geospatial ecosystem is evolving and probably is getting forward. It's one question that I asked, I think one time when I was having a conversation with somebody who works for Wikicommons, and I was like, why don't we really get AI and just find a way to put our photos there and that is the end of it? Then it's like, no, that actually removes the community aspect of everything, because this is why these open spaces exist, is to see that there are people. It's not only a single edit on the map, it's a human being trying to verify a location. We're using local knowledge, we're using local people. So I guess I think the future is looking like we're integrating more technologies like how we used to be before. I think if you see right now the geospatial environment, even the mapping that we have been using, there have been more tools. Sometimes in every mapathon, sometimes there's a tool being introduced, and there's been a culture from a way back. I guess we are continuing to be able to accept more tools, but just not removing the huge aspect of everything, which is human beings, human beings being behind this. And I guess the next I can say after here is the person who is watching, the person who is listening right now. You can also be the next chapter of this by beginning to contribute from today, just by the ways of how Geoffrey has mentioned. I think that already paints that there's a journey that we can be able to push on after here. Try to map something, try to integrate your geospatial knowledge together with the Wikimedia space. Try to just make sure that all of us can get access to knowledge and use it to make meaningful decisions for us individually, but also probably authorities. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I'm hearing that the future is within our hands. It has a human element to it. There are tools available these days that can enable us to do more than we have done. I'm hearing collaboration is good for us, and working together to create maps that impact our local communities, and it will be done by us. Thank you so much. I'm seeing a question from Brian. He's asking what tools, hold on, let me see this. Brian is asking, are there tools that can be used to extract data from OpenStreetMap in various formats, such as CSV, XLS? Say I want a list of water bodies in Uganda. Michael, let us know. Michael, do you hear us? Could you give Brian an answer?
Yes, I do. Sure. Yeah, thank you for the question, Brian. We have a variety of tools Number one, we have an editor called the Java OpenStreetMap editor, JOSM. With JOSM, you're able to filter out. That one, you need really a session if you don't have any knowledge about extraction of information using that tool, but it is so quick and you can extract those water bodies within no minute. And then another tool we use, this is used to, you can extract all the data in Uganda. They're available on OpenStreetMap, and then you can get out a file because each data set comes in a specific file format. So you can extract the entire data and then you pick out that specific file of water bodies that you need. And then another tool, we have several tools. I will be able to share some links. Another tool is called the overpass table, where you go there and put in a query. Though it limits the amount of data you're able to extract at a given moment of time. So it's not, I don't advise it if you need such a huge kind of data. It can work on a small portion of area and a small size of data. So those are the main three ways you are able to extract data from OpenStreetMap. But one I found more efficient is using the GeoFabric, where you download the entire data set. It's like 1 GB from OpenStreetMap, and then you get out a file of the water bodies you need. Then one other method I didn't mention about is using QGIS. To those of you that know QGIS, you can use the plugin called QuickOSM, but QuickOSM also, it depends on overpass. So it won't also give you a huge size of data. It works on small portions. So that leaves us with the GeoFabric. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael. Brian, I hope that has been helpful. Thank you, everyone. This has been a wonderful episode talking about mapping, its future, and its impact in the African communities. So back to you, Donia.
Thank you so much, Erina. Thank you to all our guests. Thank you, Michael, Geoffrey, Romeo. You made it fantastic. It was so informative, and personally, I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much. And thanks to our audience as well. Your interaction made the episode more informative and more helpful. But please don't leave. We still have more 5 minutes. We're celebrating 25 years of Wikipedia in our way. You're going to watch like a small video celebrating 25 years of Wikipedia by some of WikiAfrica team and some of our friends as well. So yeah, it's like just 5 minutes, and after that we will finish directly. So let me say from now, see you next month.
Hello, my name is Jan Einari, with user Einari on the wikis. I am from Sweden, but I live in the Netherlands.
Hi, my name is Tochi Precious. I'm from Nigeria.
Hello everyone, I'm Donia from Egypt.
Hi, my name is Minette. I'm from Cameroon.
Hello everyone, my name is Ayla and I am in South Africa, where I live, although I was born in Zimbabwe. And it's quite good that I was born in Zimbabwe, because the answer to the question, how did I first engage with Wikipedia, is rather an interesting one, or at least I think so. It was there was a full day solar eclipse in Zimbabwe in June 2001. So that is basically 6 months after Wikipedia was born. And the solar eclipse happened and we were sent home from work to experience it. And I went home and we were outside and I was looking at all of the birds that were circling around, nesting, because the eclipse had started. And while that was happening, my boyfriend, who then became my husband, is now my husband, told me about Wikipedia. And so I spent on my tiny little mobile device looking at this website through the funny interface that it was then, and exploring it while the world was changing and the crows that were around us were going mad because they were roosting, but it was halfway through the day and it was really like a very bizarre kind of situation, and the light changed and everything was incredible. And so for me, my experience of being introduced to Wikipedia was very portentous, given how much I now work with communities on it, but also like that there was this huge solar event that was happening and Wikipedia was part of that, so it was all very much heightened.
I joined Wikipedia since 2019 through a medical workshop teaching people how to edit medical articles in Wikipedia. At this time I was on my first year in medical school. Today I'm in my final year as an intern at Alexandria Faculty of Medicine, and I spent my years in university volunteering in Wikipedia, and then I explored other sister projects as well and explored the whole community.
I started contributing on Wikipedia back in 2016, and it was through the project Wiki Loves Women, which was about creating biographies for notable Cameroonian women on Wikipedia. I was lucky that at the same period, Wikimedia France was launching the WikiMook, an online course to learn how to edit Wikipedia. So I signed up, I followed the course for 6 weeks, and that's how I learned how to edit and contribute on the encyclopedia.
I first connected with Wikipedia in 2017 through an editathon and through coffee. And happy birthday, Wikipedia!
I started editing Wikipedia in 2006 by adding images from the city I lived in at the time. And it felt like easy edits to make. I was a little bit scared of doing something wrong. But they got stuck and I got stuck. And now, almost 20 years later, I get a wish. Happy birthday, Wikipedia.
Happy birthday, Wikipedia.
Je m'appelle Florence, mon nom d'utilisatrice sur Wikipédia est Enterre et je suis française. Ma première modification à un article Wikipédia date de mars 2002. Donc un très joyeux anniversaire Wikipédia.
Happy birthday, Wikipedia.
So thank you, Wikipedia, and happy birthday, Wikipedia, and happy birthday to the community and the thousands of volunteers that have made it possible. Thank you.
WikiAfrica Hour is a production of Wiki in Africa that supports the development of the Wikimedia movement across Africa. We value your suggestions on social media for the topics you want to discuss. We look forward to your participation next month at the same time and on the same channel. Hit the subscribe button to stay open and up to date, and follow WikiAfrica on social media. See you at the next WikiAfrica Hour.